We are live at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway on tap for the Pennzoil 400 in race number 4 of the final season of the NASCAR 21 Ignition season. And this is going to be another mile-and-a-half racetrack, our second straight 550 horsepower package racetrack, our second straight mile-and-a-half racetrack in the early going of the schedule. Coming into this race, we have had 3 different winners in the first 3 races of the year. Will we go 4 for 4 tonight, or will some of those other drivers who have had rough races but were able to find victory lane, luckily find victory lane once again? Like, share, and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content as we're about to get into tonight's full race live commentary, realistic commentary, live stream, video game edition once again, but it won't be video game edition for much longer as the Busch Clash will be premiering Sunday afternoon on the channel, and that will end up taking place at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as well as 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the live commentary of the actual main event race. We'll be doing coverage for all of that on the course of Sunday. And as far as the Daytona 500, because we are on the road to Daytona, we are only 17 days away now from the Daytona 500, and the countdown is on. I will be there in person all throughout Speed Weeks, covering the action as well. And on top of that, hi and welcome everybody here for tonight's race. We'll go through the starting lineup real quick before we get into this one. 400 miles, 267 laps are scheduled for tonight's action. Christopher Bell will be on the pole for the first time this year, with Anthony Alfredo starting outside of the front row, the rookie with his best qualifying effort in the young season. And all Stuart Haas Racing's second row with Kevin Harvick and Cole Custer in row 2, Michael McDowell and Matt DiBenedetto in row 3. McDowell was able to win at the Daytona Road Course 2 races ago. Joey Logano and Chris Buescher, a couple Fords in row number 4, and Denny Hamlin with Alex Bowman will round out the top 10 in row number 5. Our driver Ryan Blaney will be starting last without practice or qualifying for the second straight race this season. Didn't have that great of luck last night at Homestead. We'll see if he can turn it around quickly tonight at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Welcome into the chat, everybody. By the way, Billy Kramer, Joshua Rumsey, Dark Crypto, Boss Brody 8456, Cerebral Assassin, and many others. Welcome into the stream as we are about to get this race underway today. We will hope for the best. Hopefully I have everything unmuted. I believe I do. So let's get set for some racing. Got the Pennzoil paint scheme with Ryan Blaney for the Pennzoil 400. I guess I kind of had to do that. 2 Pennzoil cars on the field for Penske Racing. We'll see if one of them can go to victory lane today as the green flag is in the air. Already have low battery on my controller. Somebody remind me at the end of stage 1 or a caution, whatever comes first, to try to swap that out. And without any practice or qualifying, really no clue exactly how this car is going to handle the pit road. I should say the fuel window for today's race will be a variation between 56 to 60 laps. Blaney down on the apron on the opening lap into the tri-oval, trying to make a couple passes and gain a little bit of time as he gets around the 96 of Ty Dillon and the 66 of Timmy Hill. Car doesn't feel nearly as tight as what it did at Homestead last night, so that's a good thing for starters. He's going to work to the outside of the 55 car of Matt Mills. Mills cuts up right in front of him. Oof. Mills went to throw another block on Blaney, realized he was there at the last second. Blaney was able to side draft the 55. Blaney flatlined the corner into turn 1 just a bit as he goes up the racetrack. Got out of the gas just in time to keep it off the side of Mills. Should be able to power through and pass him in turns 3 and 4, I believe. Mills making contact, squeezing Blaney. Again, no stability help, no traction control for the second straight race. With this being a 550 oval, but again, Ryan Blaney able to get through. Very fortunate. He's got a lot of clean air in front of him now, though. Low battery notification, that's a way to... Yeah, well, hopefully that's not a sign of things to come. 2 and 3 wide action going on way up in front of the 12. Couple of better race cars at the back of that. Kurt Busch, William Byron running 34th, 35th on the grid. Blaney's already up to 37th. He only broke the top 35 before his first pit stop of the race last night. Gonna look to short pit once again, just like at Homestead in last night's race. Just gotta hope it stays green all the way through the pit stops this time, but it did get him up to 13th for a brief moment. On top of that, obviously, he's just gonna have to stay clean today. He'd like to get some stage points if he can help it, try to cut back into that regular season points deficit. He led in points after winning the Daytona 500, but fell back after 2 straight DNFs now, and he is over half race worth of points behind. But knowing that there are still 22 races left until the playoffs, even after this one ends today, there's plenty of time to catch Larson. Ford has gone to victory lane each of the first 3 races of the season with 3 different teams in the Ford camp. Penske with Ryan Blaney winning the Daytona 500. Front row with Michael McDowell winning on the Daytona Road Course, and Stewart-Haas Racing with Kevin Harvick winning at Homestead. Who will win today at Las Vegas? Will a different manufacturer go to victory lane? Will another different team go to victory lane? I think there's a very good opportunity that we could see that 4th different winner today, knowing how terrible that the Stewart-Haas cars were in the 550 tracks in 2021, knowing that Blaney's Achilles heel this season probably going to be in the mile and a halves, and Michael McDowell, I don't expect him to compete for a win on a mile and a half. Very fortunate he was able to get an upset win on a road course. McDowell known for being a pretty decent to good road course racer. He did finish in the top 10 on the Daytona road course in real life and ran there for most of the day. So you got to give credit where credit's due there. Dodge, you're on the wrong game. That's our NASCAR Chase for the Cup 2005 season, I think you're thinking of. I knew you were kidding. Blaney's definitely going to be a lot more patient trying to get through that pack of cars up there compared to what he was at Homestead last night. He was very aggressive, and it seemed to work out in stage 1, and then halfway through stage 2, it was still working fine. Got in the wall one time while going 3 wide. He got ran into from behind, and the race went downhill from there. All it takes is that one mistake, and he's going to hope not to make that mistake here today. Santiago Kid, welcome to the stream. Traffic ahead. Yes, it is a mess as well. Congested as what most of the 550 tracks are on this game through half the field on restarts. Really don't see them break apart till late in the fuel and tire stint. Blaney's going to look to short pit at some point anyway. He's only really been working with clean air so far. He lifts off the exit of turn 2 to keep it off the wall that time. He was close enough behind the cars in front of him that he had quite a bit of dirty air. And that was a big issue at Homestead last night. They were adjusting on the car all throughout the race. A lot better from the drop of the green flag today without any practice or qualifying. And he's got a run in the tri-oval underneath the 15 of James Davison, but he's just going to back out of it. He's really going to be patient and let the pit strategy try to do its thing. If it starts to space out a little bit more between these cars, then he'll try to go for the passes, but he really does not feel comfortable even going to the outside 3 wide. Just going to ride at the back here. The window opens if he really wants to pit at about lap 20. But he's not going to pit that early unless this traffic is like this, where it is just super packed together. He may consider pitting at lap 20. No, I can't pit on lap 20 in stage 1 at least. The only reason I say that is because we're not going to know what the long run speed's going to look like, so it's going to be hard to make any adjustment changes if we pit that early in stage 1. Stage 2, I think it would be a little bit better because we at least know how the car will handle in the long run. But we're not really going to know here. It's really hard to tell with how much he's getting out of the gas in the corner as well, just to patiently stay behind these guys. A lot of lane changing going on as they enter into turn 3. Blaney's trying to hold behind these guys. He still bump drafts 15 of James Davison on corner entry. He's even getting out of the gas in the middle of the tri-oval as he has such a big run. He's definitely faster than this entire pack, but he does not want to risk it. It is a long race, and you cannot win this thing on lap 15. Blaney wants to make it to the end. Not only make it to the end, but he wants a good finish tonight. Bet the 48's in there somewhere. Potentially. Could be ahead of it. Hendrick Motorsports was dominant on the 550 tracks in 2021. Saw Kyle Larson lead a lot of laps, including winning stage at Homestead last night, and actually Chase Elliott won the other stage. So Hendrick Motorsports has been scoring a lot of points, have been up there in the running, but they haven't quite gotten the win yet. Larson was close in the Daytona 500. He was close at Homestead last night. Elliott was close at the Daytona Road Course. They have not gotten a victory lane. And Blaney's even tapping the brakes getting into turn 3. Not because of the dirty air so much as what it is just trying to stay off of the other cars. He's really got to hope that no wreck ends up happening in front of him, because that is going to be a dangerous situation where he's likely not going to be able to miss it. Some drivers chopping off onto the apron when entering into turn 1 as well. I got my patience cap on right now. I got my Ryan Blaney hat on while we're racing as Ryan Blaney tonight, so you know I'm in the mood to race. And if that means racing smart, it's still racing. Blaney looking to the outside. Again, he's just going to lift, let Davison go. It's probably not as entertaining for you guys, but we need to make it through this race, and we know from last night all it takes is one crash, and that's it. This pack is not splitting up whatsoever right now. Blaney's going to stay out of the pits until lap 30. So he's not going to split it exactly in half, but he'll stay out until lap 30. So he sits behind these guys. Really in no rush. And maybe we get a caution before then and he could pit then, knowing the window's open to the end of the stage. Lap 30 will be the call for Ryan Blaney in the 12. So they'll go 30 and 50 laps through stage 1. Probably going to end up making a wedge adjustment just to loosen it up a hair. It's not that tight right now, but I'm also not pushing very hard at all. I'm just backing way out of the gas. I could really try to go full throttle if I really wanted to, but there's no reason to. We're just going to run into the back of these guys. Pull out to the outside, get a little clean air this time. You can see Blaney building up that momentum in the middle of the corner until he lifted off the exit just to stay in line behind these guys again, who are still going 2 and 3 wide. Eric Jones taking it 3 wide. One car getting sandwiched off the exit of turn 2 between Cody Ware and Eric Jones. It was Bubba Wallace in the 23. Wallace then squeezes Jones back. They're making a ton of contact. If we're going to see an accident, that could be exactly where it could end up happening. get the snow that we are getting here in Missouri. Probably. It's been snowing since about the time it went live yesterday, 5, 6 o'clock. Hasn't stopped yet. It's supposed to stop within a few hours. But it's been blowing, the wind's been blowing pretty good too. It's been like 20-mile-an-hour winds all day. Gusts up to about 30, 35, so it's been pretty bad. A lot of the counties in northwest Ohio are under a level 3. So our work closed down earlier today. I didn't have to go in anyway because I don't work Thursdays, but they closed down at 1 o'clock and sent a message, like a group message out to all the workers that they weren't going to open back up again until 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, so I don't have to go in early in the morning. I can sleep in a little bit. Don't have to be there till 10. And if it's still level 3, I don't have to go in at all, so we'll see. Might have tomorrow off too. Lap 26, about 4 or 5 more laps away from Blaney making his pit stop. He's going to be a little aggressive with the strategy call, obviously, by not pitting halfway in the stage, but pitting a little bit before halfway. And also going to be a little aggressive when it comes to the adjustments that are going to be made on this 12 team. Going to take a round of wedge out of the car, so hopefully that does not loosen it up too much. But this 12 team will take a round of wedge out of the car on top of making the 4-tire stop. And another 3 laps. On the brakes into turns 3 and 4 just to keep from running into the back of James Davison in the 15. It's amazing how much Ryan Blaney has been lifting since running in line behind these guys since about lap 7 or 8. Degrees, or well, lucky you. Yeah, temperature-wise, it's been in the like low 20s all day. Actually, I think not tonight, but tomorrow night we're supposed to have a low of -4, temperature-wise. I don't know what the wind chill is supposed to drop down to, but yeah, it's supposed to get pretty cold again. It warmed up, and actually all the snow melted before it came in, because it was 43 degrees 2 days ago, and then it started cooling off last night when it started to snow, and then right when all the snow melted, when we had about 3 to 5 inches a couple weeks ago, then we get, well, we were expected to get about a foot. So Blaney stays out of the pits that time by. He will pit this time by at lap 30. This will be a scheduled pit stop. This means he will stay out to the end of the stage. Be 4 tires and fuel for the 12 team, and they're going to take a round of wedge out of the race car to try and help loosen it up for the long run. It doesn't feel that bad right now on this long run, as he works to the inside of Josh Balicki. Got to make sure he doesn't speed this time. 45 miles an hour is the speed limit, and easily gets down in time. So 4 tires and fuel, Blaney into his box. And the Pennzoil team will go to work. Oh yeah, by far this is our biggest snow. Well, if we get all of what we're expected to get. I don't know how much we have out there right now. $15 degrees. That's pretty cold. I don't know what the temperature is like right this second. It's probably about the same at my house, considering it's been dark for a little over an hour. Or about an hour. Blaney getting up to speed on the bottom of the racetrack. Again, around a wedge was taken out of the 12 car, adjustment-wise. And then 4 tires and fuel. And now he's got about 30 lap fresher tires on the rest of the field. And they're going to go about another 25 to 30 laps before they pit. So this is time for Blaney to make up as much time as he can. He was in 37th when he pit, but he was also super, super patient at the back of that lead pack. And right now he's going full throttle. All the way through 1 and 2. I'm sure he'll do the same into 3 and 4. Purposely going to the outside of Matt DiBenedetto in the 21. The 5 of Kyle Larson, 5th. Pole sitter Christopher Bell in 4th place up here. With Joey Logano in the 22 also right there. Blaney to the inside of his teammate Logano. Gave him just enough room. Blaney lifted out a safety precaution there. He wasn't sure if the 22 knew he was coming in. Kevin Harvick leads, trying to go back-to-back with Denny Hamlin in 2nd place. About a second behind him, roughly. Actually, no, never mind. They're nose to tail. They're a second behind the lap cars. The trio of cars that Blaney got around those first couple laps. And in about a lap, Blaney's already put 2.5 seconds on Logano. Car feels really, really good in the clean air. It's not too loose. And again, hopefully with this adjustment call, risky because he didn't have to push the car too much, so he doesn't really know what he had even for a 30-lap run, despite going 30 laps on his tires. Harvick and Hamlin are held up behind the lap cars as of right now. Blaney's got a run, stays high, and barely blipped the throttle. He was expecting everybody to go low. They went low as expected. Harvick and Hamlin stay behind the lap cars. Blaney gets one of his 2 laps back right there. So he's back to 1 lap down. He's going to try to make up as much time as he can on this racetrack. Now he's probably going to catch that giant pack of cars eventually. They're about 7 seconds ahead of him. He was faster before, he's even faster now, so he will have to risk it, because otherwise there's no point of taking fresher tires like this if you're just going to end up sitting behind cars anyway. So he was patient early, but he cannot be patient anymore to the end of the stage. And then he'll go back to being patient at the beginning of stage 2 when the strategy resets itself. And honestly, if this strategy works, we know exactly what he's going to do pit stop-wise in stage 2. He's going to do the same thing. Going to assume that everybody will stay out at the end of the stage like they did at Homestead last night. Wonder if that pack's still going 2 and 3 wide all the way through as well. Mostly single file, and they are spacing apart a little bit, so that's going to help Blaney a tad at least. He should catch him next lap. Well, this lap, currently as we just crossed the start-finish line. Catch one car by his lonesome himself off of turn 2, make an easy pass down the back straightaway. That was the 52 of Josh Bilicki. And to the high side he goes through turns 3 and 4. He's going to lift to prepare to move down to the bottom off the exit of turn 4. Down to the apron goes Ryan Blaney. Into the tri-oval. Taking it 3 wide. That is the only time he will take it 3 wide, is down to the apron, knowing he could clear cars into turn 1. Maybe potentially to the outside going on corner entry, but that would be about it. 3 wide to the bottom down the back straightaway, but again, he's side by side at least by the time they actually enter into turn 3, riding the brakes a little bit. So he drove underneath the BJ McLeod. Blaney on corner entry into turn 1. Flatlined it quite a bit. Had to feather the throttle enough to enter that deep into the corner, or that flat into the corner, but he's able to slide up easily, clear in the middle of the corner to clear the 43 of Eric Jones. Single digits for the low in the morning. Yeah, I think it's supposed to get cold like tonight too, but not nearly as, well, by nearly as bad. It's going to be 20 degrees warmer because it's going to be in the teens versus -4 the next morning. Cold both days, but 20 degrees warmer still. They have single-digit temps they can keep it. That was a little tight. Blaney going to the outside. Luckily, they were single file underneath him, and it wasn't 3 wide. Instead, they were side by side. Gave him just enough room. He didn't lift. But boy, did he have to keep that car steady. Get to the inside of Ryan Newman. Ricky Stenhouse. Chastain, look at him just roll the bottom. And he is blipping the throttle to do that. You stand on the gas, you're probably going to get into the left rear of one of those cars, turn him. He does not need a caution right now. He needs this to cycle all the way through. Especially considering he's still a lap down. I wonder if he can get back on the lead lap before everybody else has to pit. And if that happens, can he gap these cars enough that he has a potential chance to win stage number 1 with this strategy call? Edwin Justice, welcome to the stream. We short pitted. That is why we're a lap down right now. So we're still caution free at lap 46 for the leaders. Blaney's a lap down. He was the only car to pit so far. Pitted at lap 30. Fuel window 56 to 60 laps, so we know he can make it on fuel to the end of the stage. 3 wide to the outside went Ryan Blaney that time. There's the 48. Alex Bowman, but again, he stays steady, keeps his hands steady. Working his foot as much as possible on the throttle. Not rolling all the way out of the gas, but just kind of blipping it a little bit out of a safety precaution. That if somebody were to slide up, he would be able to get on the brakes without having to lock the tires up and risk spinning the car out. A very patient race out of Ryan Blaney so far tonight. Well, Michael McDowell inside the top 10 right now, currently in 8th. I guess he did finish top 10 at Homestead in real life this year too. That's only 1.5 miles. And he tried to go full throttle. He probably could have still stuck at full throttle, but he wanted to be able to get a little bit of a turn off the exit of the corner to take that move 3 wide under McDowell and Busher. There was a lot of traffic in front of us too. One car going up wide. Timmy Hill. I thought he was going to try to block Blaney there for a second. Hopefully Blaney will have better track position to start stage 2 and stage 3 versus stage 1 as well, so this strategy might even be a little bit better in the final 2 stages in short pitting, though the final stage is longer by 27 laps compared to both stage 1 and stage 2, so he won't be able to pit quite as short as he did this time around. Kyle Larson, Joey Logano trying to battle each other for 3rd. Blaney gets to the inside of both of them and clears them into turn 1. Hamlin and Harvick about 7 seconds ahead of Blaney still. They have not pit. None of the other drivers have pit except for Blaney about 20 laps ago. But they will be pitting in another 5 to 10 laps from now. And we'll see where everything cycles through. A lot of clean air in front of the 12 right now. Yeah, Bowman hasn't had a great season so far for us. I think he's got one top 10 in the first 3 races, but Homestead, he was not running there for most of the race yesterday before getting that top 10. 4th best Hendrick driver so far this season. Though Byron hasn't had a great start to the year either. Larson and Elliott have been contending for wins, and you see Larson contending for another one early on in 4th. And Harvick and Hamlin are running nose to tail, only 3 seconds now ahead of Blaney into turn 3. When will they pit? And for Ryan Blaney, he is likely going to unlap himself before anybody else even makes their green flag pit stop. So if we do get a caution, bonus is he'll be on the lead lap. In fact, he's 36th right now. He was 37th when he pit originally. Just kind of riding behind about over half the field that were running 2 and 3 wide in front of him, being extra patient, not willing to make a pass. Well, there was a custom schedule season of the career mode, or now on this final season, even though we've only had 1.5 miles on this final season, I have never won a 100% race on a 1.5 miles in this game. Considering that there are dozens of races that we have ran already, probably well over 20.5 miles, and I have not won one. Goes to show how tough it is in this game to win one. Blaney trying to do the most with this strategy, and there he is. He's back in the lead lap, clearing both Harvick and Hamlin with a move to the outside off of turn 4. So in 36, Blaney is the last car in the lead lap. That was the best thing that could have happened because, again, if we get a caution, we know he's going to be on the lead lap, and then he could just choose to pit with the rest of the field. Heck, maybe he could even be ahead of some drivers who get trapped a lap down already pit. So usually when you short pit, that's going to be the case that you could be at risk of going a lap down, but for Blaney's case here, he's already made a stop. He doesn't have to worry about it. Joey Gase moving up in front of the 12. 12 lifted, let him in line. He's up to 33rd. He's got a pack of cars he's closing in on. I don't know if he's going to get there before they pit or not. We'll have to wait and see. I'm just waiting for cars to start diving into the pits here at any moment, really. Lane changing going on down the back straightaway. Entering into turns 3 and 4. Blipping the throttle a little bit was Ryan Blaney. 3 wide to the outside. Justin Haley pulling up. Ooh, Blaney brushes the wall. Very fortunate to not blow a tire. Honestly got a little scared with the 77 pulling up. I wasn't sure if he was going to stop pulling up or not. Gave Blaney enough room. Blaney made that mistake on his own getting into the wall. Now he'll let Martin Truex Jr. in line, lifting off the exit of turn 2, anticipating it. That's going to break his momentum down the backstretch. Back to the outside he goes again. Now he's going to lift to let Almirola in. He's got fresher tires, so he can maybe afford to do that out of safety precaution. And he should be able to get around the rest of these guys to the outside in turns 1 and 2, you would think. Moving up on Almirola, Bubba Wallace in the 23 on the bottom, and Blaney will clear Wallace down the back stretch for 23rd. Now the problem with not having a rearview mirror in this game with short pitting is that when everybody else makes their pit stop, they're going to have fresh tires on Blaney. So Blaney's blowing around these cars on 30-lap fresher tires now. Well, they'll in return have 30-lap fresher tires on Blaney once they decide to pit right around lap 60, which we're on lap 60 this time by. So he's just going to have to be very, very careful, hold a consistent line as much as possible, constantly going to be using that look back cam to make sure he's not going to get ran over. Especially on corner entry, he's probably going to be the most dangerous spot. Into turns 1 and 2 to the outside. It's going to be 3 wide with Keselowski and Suarez. Newman moves up, almost squeezing Blaney into the wall. Blaney lifted a bit, but he was able to keep it both off of Newman and off the wall, and he is up to 19th already before the field is pit. And more spots potentially to be gained. Well, it was about to be, and then we have some takers on the pit road this time. So green flag pit stops opening up at lap 61 for the rest of the field, as we kind of expected. Blaney's going to lift down the backstretch so he can stay to the outside, getting into turns 3 and 4. He's expecting more cars to pit on the bottom, so he wants no part of it. Nobody pit that time. One car sliding up. Blaney catches the wall, Tad. Moving down. Custer's there. Halfway onto the apron as Blaney sends it 3 wide into turn 1. Custer did not give him a lot of room there, and he is very fortunate that that car stuck going into the corner, considering they're halfway through a tire run. More cars pitting off of turn 4. Car's checking up. The car moves up right in front of Austin Dillon, getting up to speed. That was the 52. And that pass on Austin Dillon and Kyle Busch getting into the corner was for the lead for Ryan Blaney. His first lap led of the race at the start-finish line, and his first lap led since winning Stage 1 at the Daytona Road Course 2 races ago. Blaney leads at Vegas. Drives it in pretty deep into turns 1 and 2. Slides up in front of the 17 of Buescher. Barely cleared him. That was an aggressive slide job on a lap car. Wow. Very fortunate he had Buescher cleared when he moved up, because that car was not wanting to stick to the bottom as flat as he drove it in. Rick Ware car in the 52 closing in quick. That's Josh Bilicki. Blaney stays to the outside. He's 16 laps away from winning the stage. Now he's just got to hold on to the lead to the end of the stage. Buescher's up to 5th, so there are not many cars on the lead lap right now. McDowell's 6th is the first car 1 lap down. Bowman's 7th. They're closing in. Blaney's going to purposely stay to the outside. Just going to run his own line here. At least that corner. Let the 48, let the 34 by. He knows he's not going to hold him off for 15 laps, so there we go. Craig Franklin, welcome to the stream. Joey Logano, who was up in 3rd, must have had a slow pit stop. He's back to 8th place. Closing in on Blaney as Blaney stays wide in turns 3 and 4. Giving Logano plenty of room to get underneath. So letting his teammate back on the lead lap. 2.5 seconds back to Bubba Wallace behind him. 14 laps to go at stage 1 for Ryan Blaney. We'll be pitting during the stage break, and if everybody else decides to stay out, Blaney will take on 20 lap fresher tires to start the next stage. And then he could end up really not having a short pit then in the next stage because he'll already have fresher tires. Drake Wyman, welcome to the stream. Caution-free so far through stage 1 as well. We have not had a caution-free stage since the Daytona Road Course went caution-free in stage 1. Blaney gonna go to the outside into turns 1 and 2. Running Wallace and Houff to the inside. Christopher Bell is in 9th. First car 1 lap down. Haven't seen 2nd place creep into the picture at all yet. Still got 12 laps to go, and we know Blaney is probably the slowest car on the track with these 30-lap older tires, so he's really just trying to hang on. Anthony Alfredo having a good run in 12th place right now, too. Bell's going to be coming in hot. Blaney stays wide into turn 3. He'll let Bell go to the bottom. Benedetto will probably catch him next lap. Have to imagine it will be in turn 3. Benedetto already looking low. Reddick. Alfredo. 5 seconds back to Suarez. 10 laps to go in the stage. This time by for Ryan Blaney. A lot more breathing room now, though. At least for a few laps. Car feels pretty good. Maybe be a hair looser. I don't think he's going to make any adjustments during the stage break, though. Leave the car exactly the same. Handling-wise. Eight more laps. Curious to know how many drivers will be a lap down. That's going to help Blaney a ton. If he can lap over half the field in stage number 1. We still don't know if he's got the stage completely locked in yet, because we're not sure exactly how far off of the lead second place is. 7 laps to go at the line. And he's going to go to the outside in turns 1 and 2. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. now in 15th is the first car, 1 lap down. He's 3 seconds behind Blaney still. Him and Chastain should be able to get there. And he's having a harder time trying to hook up on the outside now that we're getting later into this tire stint. About a second slower than Stenhouse and Chastain that last lap. This could be the second stage win of the year for Blaney. He won stage 1 at the Daytona Road Course. That's his only stage win so far. That would match Larson with a tie for the most of 2. Assuming Blaney could hold on for 5 more laps when we get back to the start-finish line. Right here, right now, 5 laps to go, stage 1. A caution-free stage 1 at that. Chastain also used Matt Mills as a pick to get around Stenhouse for position. Blaney going to stay wide in the tri-oval. Letting everybody underneath him. No contest into turn 1. And Denny Hamlin is in second. We're coming to 3 to go in the stage. He's going to run Blaney down. I told you guys it wasn't over yet for the stage. Blaney could try to block, but on older tires, it's just not going to happen for this many laps. Tried to push a little bit harder this time in turns 1 and 2, but I think it's too little too late. 3 laps to go in the stage. He's less than a half a second ahead of Hamlin at the start-finish line. Kyle Busch lap down in 17th. Harvick is in 3rd, also right behind Denny Hamlin, the race leader. Blaney's going to try to pull down and block into turns 1 and 2, but as he slides up the racetrack, he's got no chance to stay in front of Hamlin. Though it's Busch who goes to the inside initially to get back on the lead lap, and that will give Kevin Harvick the race lead instead of Denny Hamlin. So Harvick will take the lead into turn 3. Busch trying to protect and stay on the lead lap to the end of the stage. Blaney in 3rd. He's at least 3 seconds ahead of 4th, so there's no reason he should finish outside the top 3. 2 laps to go. Now can Hamlin get back around Kevin Harvick for the stage win, and will Kyle Busch stay on the lead lap? He's got no chance to race those guys, so he's going to stay wide. He's still going to score a lot of stage points, though. As far as the regular season points go, he will outscore Kyle Larson in stage 1. So he'll outscore the regular season points leader. Final lap of the opening stage. And he'll be able to pit during the stage break to take on fresher tires. Remember, he started last. Only about 2 seconds ahead of Larson, but he's only got one more corner to go this time by, so he should easily stay in front of him. Hamlin pulls low, trying to make a pass on Harvick into turn 3. Harvick throws the block in the center of the corner, and that was the last chance Hamlin had there. He's not going to be able to make the pass. Kevin Harvick will win stage 1 at Las Vegas, picking up from where he left off after winning at Homestead last night. Blaney will bring it home in 3rd in stage number 1. Solid. I will take it. And we'll take a look at the top 10 in stage 1. Harvick with the win. Hamlin 2nd. Ryan Blaney 3rd. Kyle Larson 4th. Michael McDowell rounds out the top 5. Bowman 6th. Buscher 7th. Logano 8th. Reddick 9th. DiBenedetto rounds out the top 10. And only 17 drivers on the lead lap to the end of the stage. No free pass awarded in this game, so unfortunately for Justin Haley, he will not get back on the lead lap. And for Ryan Blaney, he will pit during the stage break. Means he has about 50 laps on his tires. No adjustments here. 4 tires and fuel will be the call for the 12 team. So he's going to have 20 lap fresher tires than everybody else. Well, 15 to 20 lap fresher tires than the rest of the field here. So now Blaney will be the launch car on the restart. Remember, that stage went caution-free as well. Oh, they're stacking up on the restart. Oh, my goodness. Blaney taking it easy, or at least trying to. I don't know what that checkup was all about. And then when he slowed way down, he didn't want to spin the car out on its own in 2nd gear. I don't think he's got too much damage to the front of his race car. Very, very fortunate to get out of harm's way there. That was a massive stack up on the restart. Blaney wants to go to work on these 20 lap fresher tires. I'm not sure why it restarted us at the very back. We should have been in the middle of the pack. Probably ahead of that checkup at the very tail end of the field. It is what it is. We'll make up that time. Nice to have fresh tires again, though. Tim Irvin, welcome to the stream. He's going to try to time this out right. Lifting a bit off the exit of turn 4. He'll go to the bottom. 3 wide into the tri-oval. He's going to make sure he's got to clear everybody before getting into the first turn. And he'll be side by side with Newman. He'll take it, but you can see them making contact up ahead. With the side-by-side action of their own. Blaney closing in on the back straightaway. See, now he can stay on the same strategy as everybody else in this stage if he really, really wants to. 3 wide off the exit of turn 4, making an aggressive move on Kurt Busch. So patience in stage 1 for Blaney was the key. Now he's got to be aggressive in stage 2 to try and get through this traffic on the fresher tires and hopefully get to the lead before everybody else decides to pit about halfway through this stage, so that way he could stay on the same strategy and just race it out with everybody else to the end of the stage on equal tires instead of on older tires. Squeezing under Elliott. Elijah Dewar, welcome to the stream. Go Pack, go. Kind of a frustrating end to the season, but hey, I guess it's a frustrating end to all but one team at the end of the year anyway, so. It is what it is. Cody Ware's in 22nd. Cody Ware is in front of Chase Elliott. Not sure how, but he is. Out racing a former champ. No more lap cars, presumably, outside of Justin Haley ahead of Blaney. The rest will be lead lap cars. By far the cleanest mile-and-a-half race I think we've ever had on this game this far in. Pretty tight gap off the exit of turn 4. Same spot he got around Elliott is where he got around Justin Haley. We go to the outside in turns 1 and 2. Stenhouse taking the line away of Ryan Blaney with a late block. Dives under Austin Dillon now. Big pack of heavy traffic coming up, bigger than anything else on the restart so far, as Blaney has cracked the top 15 for the second time in this race. Again, he finished 3rd in stage 1. He was able to lead some laps. And try to time it out right so he can go down to the bottom off the exit of turn 4. He's going to cut all the way to the apron and hope he can pass as many of these cars as possible before entering into turn 1. And he is not going to get around that many of them, so he's just going to back out of the gas. Look at Suarez taking his line away. Blaney went to the apron to give as much room as possible when he got out of the gas. It's a good thing he did because they were already 3 wide. Got to really try to time this run out as best as he can to get around as many cars as he can by the time they get to the front stretch. And here he goes this time. Again, trying to time this run out a little bit better. There's Custer. 3 wide with Custer and McDowell. Blaney again chops the apron. Barely keeps the car sticking in the corner. A bonsai move that last time by. Gets around Buescher in turns 3 and 4. Busch got tight behind the 21 of DiBenedetto. He moves up out of line and out of the way. And here comes Blaney. Inside of Reddick for 5th. Bowman in 4th, right in front of the top 3, a few seconds up the way. Bowman with a block on the 12 of Blaney. Going to try to hold him back. Off the exit of turn 2, Blaney slides underneath. Can he clear? Still side by side into turn 3, and now as Bowman lifts on a little bit older tires, Blaney gets through. Off the next 3 nights, wow. 3-day weekend for you. Congrats. Winter Olympics starts tonight. I knew it was starting up pretty soon. I wondered exactly when. I guess that answers my question. Kevin Harvick, who won stage 1, is leading, but Blaney is coming through, and I bet he'll have the lead by the next lap. Pull out to get a little bit more clean air on entry that time. Look at the dive off the exit of the corner down to the bottom. Harvick will lead another lap at the line this time, but here comes Ryan Blaney for the lead himself into turn 1 underneath Kevin Harvick. Blaney, for the second time, leads at Vegas. And can the Pennzoil car win the Pennzoil 400 today? Clean air once again. And he does not plan on short pitting. Well, he'll pit when everybody else pits, which will be about halfway through this stage. So he'll split stage number 2 in half. I might be just as excited to win this as what it was to win the Daytona 500, just because I know how hard the mile and a halves are in this game with how the AI race. But a third in stage 1 felt like a win of itself. But now, not only for the first time, but now the second time today, Blaney leads at Vegas. We'll alternate through the different camera angles for a little bit now. First time today we will do so. I always like watching the women's hockey in the Olympics. Hockey in general. Michael Turner, welcome to the stream. Yep, stages 80, 80, and 107. Same lengths they were last night, only hopefully tonight we can make it to the end of the race. So far, so good. Remember, only 17 cars are on the lead lap right now. I say that as a fair warning because Blaney is clearly pulling away from everybody behind him. And he's already working at least through the back marker cars that have been in front of him since the restart. I will say, for clear skies and this being an afternoon race, I'm surprised it's as shaded, and especially considering we're only in stage 2. It's a lot more shaded than what it was at the drop of the green flag when we started this race, and we're barely, not even 100 laps in. We're just under 100 laps into this race. Nine likes right now. We've had as many as 16 people watching. Smash the like button. Subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Getting into real NASCAR this weekend. Hence, more real-related NASCAR content on the channel starting tomorrow. Preseason predictions will be up on the channel sometime tomorrow, so be on the lookout for that. Hit that notification bell so you guys do not miss that video, as well as other future-related streams. We will still be live streaming tomorrow night as well, NASCAR video game-wise, with a stadium short track race of our own. Yes, as we will be racing at the Dodge Raceway on NASCAR 05 Chase for the Cup for the second race of our custom schedule season. It's going to be a lot of fun. Cup Series side of things with the custom schedule season tomorrow night. That will start at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Offensive time of possession was insane today. They play 60 minutes for women's hockey? I can't remember. It's 60 just like the men. William Byron's in 29th. He was outside the top 30 at the start of the race as well. That is crazy compared to the rest of his teammates. Even Chase Elliott has been outside the top 20. Last we saw in that restart, he was back at 23rd. Probably only about 15 laps away from seeing pit stops for the third time tonight for Blaney at least. It would be the second time for everybody else who stayed out during the stage break. Riding the brakes a little bit into turn 1. They'll clear William Byron off the exit of turn 2. On 2x2 traffic ahead of Blaney. Coming up. He's getting tight in the dirty air. And he's going to be patient this time around, sitting behind these guys off the exit of turn number 4. Look to the inside of Ryan Newman for right now. Trying to pass as many cars as he can off the exit of turn 2. And he'll be 3 wide into turn 3. Blaney trying to hold his mark. A little contact with Anthony Alfredo to his outside. Very fortunate to not get turned that time. Luckily, the contact wasn't right around the corner panel. Big potential block was about to be made there. Into turn 1, down to the apron, sliding up the racetrack to make the pass on the lap cars. And he's just trying to keep from getting turned. So far, so good, indeed. Third place finish at stage 1. A little bit of a risky situation in the lap traffic there. That last lap, but Blaney was able to get through it. As he continues to lead into stage 2. About 11 or less laps away from green flag pit stops in this stage. He's going to lift enough, try to time the throttle out right off the exit of turn 4 to move him to the bottom. He's going to go all the way down to the apron, giving himself as much room as he possibly can. And he'll clear Stenhouse well before they get into turn 1, who is in 15th. So now only 14 cars are on the lead lap at Vegas. And Blaney's got about 20 lap fresher tires. On the outside of Cole Custer. Off the exit of turn 4, all clear. Now only 13 cars on the lead lap. Knowing that it's this big of a lead, Blaney might not pit exactly at halfway like everybody else will. He'll probably take it 5 to 10 laps longer just out of safety precautions. In case a caution comes out, he would not want to risk getting put a lap down or potentially even more cars getting back on the lead lap. Whatever the case is, he's got enough breathing room to second place Kevin Harvick behind him. Some things I'm looking forward to the Clash. Well, number one, I'm looking forward to NASCAR being back. Looking forward to commentating the race with you guys. Well, not with you guys, but with you guys watching down in the chat this weekend as well. So going to have a lot of fun with that, communicating with you guys. Honestly, I'm excited to see the new drivers and the new places. I feel like that's always kind of a fun, fresh thing with NASCAR when the season starts. It's seeing these new drivers with their new teams, or even new teams in general that we haven't seen, like the 45 team. The 42 is a different team this year. Some other new, just new things within the sport of NASCAR. Obviously, the next-gen car, I think, falls under that category. Be interesting to see how that goes. I know this is going to be unlike any other race we're going to have on the schedule, so even if the race is really good or really bad, you can't really dictate that with the rest of even the short tracks with this car going forward this season. So really kind of its own thing, and that's pretty much what I'm most excited for, which is pretty much about the same when it comes to NASCAR every weekend out of the year. I don't know if there's one thing that I'm looking forward to as far as the Clash itself because of the changes to the Clash. I think a lot of the things I'm looking forward to are just things I would in general be looking forward to when NASCAR rolls around, usually for Speed Weeks every year. This will only get me more hyped to go to the Daytona 500 a couple weeks after the fact. Let's go. We're only 3 days away, ladies and gents. Yeah, I mean, I could have gone into greater detail about the new things with the new car. There's a lot of new things with this new car that's going to affect the racing. And the pit stops and everything involved with a normal race. Now, there's no live pit stops this weekend, so we won't get to see anything like that until the dual races as far as the next-gen cars go at Daytona. For those of you wondering why there's no live pit stops, it's just like a local short track that's your quarter-mile, third-mile racetrack. There's no live pit stops in traditional short track racing because the pit lane, there's just, it's not big enough to even have a pit lane. It's a quarter-mile racetrack. I saw some questions with like some rendering photos like, oh, you know, a couple weeks away or whatever, and there's people, you know, in the comment sections like, how are they even going to pit? They're going to have close, they won't have to pit. For one, because it's only a 150 lap race, so the heat races are short enough that they won't have to pit during the heat races at all. And they'll have a halftime break, which people are wondering why is there a halftime break in NASCAR. Well, if it was a 100 lap 50, you know, feature, even at a local short track, they would usually cut it in half for teams to be able to fill up the fuel to change tires if they want to for the second half of the race. So while they're doing that, NASCAR is going to have a concert, and, you know, be that what it will, I'd say it's not actually a half bad idea to have that for the people live in attendance, whether they're new NASCAR fans or not, just simply because that's 10 minutes of kind of dead air. It would actually keep them in their seats, or maybe keep more of them in their seats instead of just going to the concession stand for a 10-minute stretch there while they're fueling and everything else with the race cars that they need to. So why not, you know, have a musical performance? You know, have somebody play 2 or 3 songs and then get back to the racing. You're going to have to stop it anyway for teams to, you know, make adjustments and fuel their cars, regardless of the fact. So I don't think that's a bad idea, really, to have a musical performance. Now, I'm not all in with the musical performance that they're supposed to have during every caution. I don't really care for that at all. I don't think I feel like that's a little overboard, to be completely honest. But yeah, the halfway point, if they were going to have to stop it anyway, for fuel and tire sake, then why not fill that, you know, dead air? was something. Well, lap 121 at the line. Leaders haven't pit yet. Ryan Blaney's made up almost a full lap on Kyle Busch and Kyle Larson, who are running second and third. Larson's up to second. Kyle Busch is in third. He was last on the lead lap at the end of stage 1 at 17th. Barely held on to the lead lap, and now he's in position here, going for second. Ooh, a little push from behind there from Blaney. Then he wanted to get to the outside. Trying to work his way around these two, and he's kind of struggling doing so. Now to the outside. He'll clear Busch. Will he clear Larson off of turn 2? Yes, he does. Blaney has lapped the field at Vegas. Just past halfway through stage 2. Nobody has pit yet in this second stage, but I'm sure we'll see some drivers pit very shortly. First bot down in the chat tonight. Took almost half the race. Cup race at that, too. Ready for Blaney to dominate the season? That would be my dream, for Blaney to dominate the season. I do have my Blaney hat on for the first time in this calendar year, at least, so you can tell I'm geared up for Sunday. I don't have the shirt on today. I thought about throwing the sweatshirt on, but I was going to work out after I get done streaming tonight, because I didn't do it earlier today, so I'm going to make sure I do it when I get done. I could sleep in a little bit, because my work's closed down until 10 o'clock because of the storms tonight, so I don't care if I'm up till 11 o'clock working out, because I can sleep in till 7, 8 o'clock in the morning if I wanted to. Then I won't even have to work a full day either tomorrow, so it works for me. Then you're working on some slower lap cars again. The outside in the tri-oval. Again, a clean race so far. There are some drivers that have been coming out of the pits here these last couple laps, so there are drivers pitting as we speak. Blaney could still go about another 15 laps on fuel if he wanted to. He doesn't have to pit with these guys. But he's going to pit within decent proximity of them. He doesn't want to stay out too much longer, give up too much time. But just in case we get a caution, if he could trap these guys, they were already 1 lap down, but if he could trap them 2 down for the final stage, that'll give him some buffer room in case something crazy goes down in the final stage. We still have not seen a caution for incident tonight. I don't think we've ever had a caution-free oval race in this game. Could tonight be the first? Obviously, that's not counting the stage breaks. Yep, Winter Olympics going on right now. I actually did watch the Red Wings game last night. I know it's not the Olympics, but we were talking about hockey a little bit ago. And watched the Red Wings lose to the Kings. They gave up 45 shots on goal. Oh, man. Eric Jones was moving up on Blaney down the back straightaway. Blaney got into the wall. Jones never touched him, but nearly turned him. Jones closing in on those fresher tires. Blaney will stay wide into turn 1 and let the 43 car go. I don't watch the Pro Bowl anymore anyway. It's on the same day as the Clash, right? Or is it Saturday night? Usually it's Sunday. Sunday afternoon, usually. I will definitely be watching the Clash over the Pro Bowl. I mean, I watch NASCAR over football even, at the beginning of football season anyway. I don't, if the Packers are playing the same time the race is going on, I'm watching the race. I'm not even paying attention to the Packers game. That dedicated of a NASCAR fan, but Blaney's still staying out because we still have some lap cars that have been pitting here over the last few laps. There you see more drivers into the pits. Blaney could go about another 10, 11 laps on fuel. Again, he won't stretch it all the way to the end of the fuel run, but he will be pitting very shortly. So he's on about 40 lap older tires. So Larson, who would be 2 laps down, in second place, barely over a second off the race lead. And Blaney's actually got to pit this time. So 4 tires of fuel for the 12 of Blaney. Can't speed. 45 miles an hour is the speed limit. Blaney gets in, no issue. So there it is. 4 tires and fuel for the 12 of Blaney. No adjustments during the second green flag stop of the day. The third stop total. He also pitted during the stage break. Stayed out about 3 to 4 laps longer than Larson and company up towards the front of the field. Larson should get back on the lead lap, considering that Blaney was barely in front of him by a full lap when the pit stop started. Tires make a big difference at Vegas in general as it is, so this game probably only amplifies that a little bit more. I just got to watch, try not to speed coming out of the pits, and not speed coming out of the pits, but don't want to spin out. You're going to have to watch his speed accordingly because of it. Blaney taking his time. Kind of no man's land where Blaney came out of the pits as well. He got passed with 3 laps to go at stage 1 by Harvick and Larson to finish 3rd in the opening stage because he had 30 lap older tires and was just kind of trying to hang on there for the final 20 laps. He was just 3 laps short, but now he's got a couple lap fresher tires. So even if they are just a tad faster, because Blaney might not have the speed on equal tires as the leaders, we don't really know that. They will be closing on him, but nowhere near as fast, and he should have maybe not as big of a gap, but I don't think it's any reason why he can't hang on for 28 laps at the line this time. But Blaney continues to lead. Five Central time on Fox, yes. The main event, but the heat races start at 3 Eastern, so it would be 2 Central. Don't want to miss those heat races. You want to get all the racing you can. I believe qualifying is Saturday night as well. Qualifying and well, maybe you can tune into the stream while you're at work if any way possible. I'll tell you what's going on. That's a bummer. Bump draft of Suarez through the tri-oval. Wow, this game pauses when the controller dies. Finally. That is one. I forgot to plug this controller in. But it didn't pull a NASCAR heat where it just hits the wall. That's awesome. That is awesome. You know what? We crap on NASCAR 21 Ignition quite a bit, including myself, for errors and errors we have had, but this has been a pretty good, straightforward race tonight. And I gotta say, thank you, NASCAR 21 Ignition and Motorsport Games, for if your controller dies, the game pauses just like any other game, because the entire NASCAR Heat Series, we would have creamed that wall and we would have DNF'd. But in this, we are saved. Oh, weird spot in the middle of the corner, though. I had to lift when I unpaused it to keep from spinning out. But that is like the one benefit to NASCAR 21 Ignition I've seen over NASCAR Heat so far. That is one positive. Controller is plugged in. Blowing around McDowell and Mills. To Benedetto in 9th. He'll go a lap down. Blaney's got a fast car on fairly equal tires. That's super positive. Nice detail, Blaney's number. Yeah, I did like the transition too. Now, if only the leaderboard worked. And there's a rearview mirror. Then we just start talking about all the issues with the game again. Hey, you got to be willing to praise the game for the things it does get right. That was the first time my batteries died in this game, so I kind of wondered. And we only have 32 races left after this, so I was about to never find out, potentially, but I've been a lot better at that with this game because we had our struggles with NASCAR Heat from time to time with it. Actually, almost looks sexy. What does almost sexy look like? Sounds a little counterintuitive. It's like, oh, she's kind of hot, but not really. Like, what? How does that make any sense? Kyle Busch caught up in heavy lap traffic, along with Ross Chastain as they battle for position. 3 wide down the backstretch, entering into 3. Blaney had to go 4 wide a few times last night. He hasn't been that aggressive in this race. He was super patient at stage 1. It paid off. He not only made it to the end of stage 1, but finished 3rd. And that led him now to stage 2, having a really good shot to win this stage. And there are only 6 cars on the lead lap. Blaney has to have led the most laps so far tonight. Do that again. Yeah, what? Pause it and unpause it again? I feel like it'll make me spin out or something when I unpause it one of these times. One thing I haven't really noticed with this game because I haven't looked, but do the pit road lights start flashing when you hit 2 laps to go in the stage like they do in real life? That'd be a really good detail. I'm going to look for it in this stage, because I haven't looked for it yet. But I wonder if it'll start flashing when pit road closes with 2 to go. We still have 18 more laps left in the stage, so it's going to be a few minutes, but I have to look out for it. Race is still far from over, though. Pit strategy's pretty much going to be even from here on out as well. Pause it again for the detail effect. I really don't want to pause it as much as I can help it. Only because it's this game. A lot of traffic Blaney's closing in on. And he can definitely be patient to the end of stage 2 from here. He knows he's fast enough with a pace that even if he backs off of it the last 17 to 18 laps of the stage, there's no reason why he shouldn't win this stage. Welcome back, Joshua. And he went to the outside. And ends up going to the bottom off the exit of the corner to get to the inside of Timmy Hill. BJ McLeod almost went up the middle 3 wide between Blaney and Half. He didn't, though. 3 wide into the tri-oval. Blaney down to the apron trying to give himself a little bit more room so that way the 14 of Briscoe wasn't going to try to side draft him. And he will get through. Reddick in 5th, Bowman in 6th. not that much further up ahead as they're dealing with heavy lap traffic of their own. The more cars Blaney can lap to the end of this stage, the better. Davion West, welcome to the stream. Again, this crew made an adjustment change during that first stop of the race, all the way back on lap 30 when they short pitted in stage 1. And the short pitting played perfectly because we didn't get a caution. He was able to cycle to the lead and then finish third by the end of the stage. And now has a shot to win stage 2 to get his second stage win of the season. Going 3 wide to the outside. Bit risky. Wow, what a move by Blaney, getting around Reddick and Bowman. And now only 4 cars are on the lead lap. That was a dive into turn 1, 3 wide to the bottom now on Kurt Busch and Byron to put them another lap down. Buescher in 4th. Big block by the 12 on the 24. Doesn't have to be this aggressive, but he is going to be. 3 cars now on the lead lap into turn 1. And Hamlin's about 5 seconds ahead of Blaney according to the leaderboard. Wonder if Larson's right there with him. If Blaney can lap the field before the end of stage 2, that would be incredible. Yeah, we've literally had 0 glitches tonight. Knock on wood. 0. Which might be the first time ever for an oval race in this game. Then again, though, if you remember on the career mode for our Coca-Cola 600, that we didn't have any errors in that game until about 20 laps to go, and then you know what hit the fan, and it was on from there. This race is also 200 miles shorter, so hopefully we won't have that issue. That's going to be interesting. Obviously, we haven't ran the Coke 600 with stages on. I wonder if it actually incorporates 4 stages like it does in real life, or if it's still 3. I only say that because this game's got a lot of issues. I don't know if I've ever won a race on this game without stability help or traction control on. Because we haven't won a 550 oval on 100%. Those are the only races I really do it for. I do it for some 750 ovals like Darlington, but that's really it. Even that's a handful. Massive moves gonna be made. Into turn 3, 3 wide to the bottom. Blaney gets by the lap car of Hamlin. Now only 2 cars on the lead lap. Blaney's hustling right now. He's got 9 laps to go to try and catch Larson, who just cleared a lap car. So Larson's got clean air in front of him. Who's faster, the 12 or the 5? 12's got a few lap fresher tires. He's trying to go full throttle through turns 1 and 2, and he holds it. He's really pushing hard. And Jake said the cautions might happen. I can feel it. Well, we know we're going to get 1 for the stage break, but usually don't count those. Well, this game usually... Now, granted, there's been a couple patches over the last few days, but usually the game does not have a free pass system, even though it should. So if Blaney can lap Larson before the end of the stage, which he is closing in the tri-oval, and he'll get to the inside of Larson, and he'll clear him before they even get into turn 1. Ryan Blaney has lapped the field in stage 2 at Las Vegas. How could we throw this race away? 600 in this game does have 4 stages. All right. That's good to hear. It definitely feels like the car's a little bit tighter in 1 and 2 than 3 and 4, which is strange considering the fact that turns 1 and 2 has a wider corner entry than turn 3. You would think 3 and 4 would be the harder corner on the track for that reason. I guess you're carrying maybe a bit more speed into turn 1, but because it's wider, you would think you could hold it. 3 and 4, you're not carrying as much speed, but again, it's not as wide on entry. Well, we did the unthinkable of winning the Daytona 500. Now the next unthinkable is winning a 1.5 miles in this game. Ryan Blaney is working on that feat today as one of the Pennzoil cars leading the Pennzoil 400, the sponsored race. Got in the back of AJ Allmendinger. Allmendinger was coming down to arc his corner off as Blaney was kind of overshooting the corner, got in the back of him. Allmendinger wiggled. I guess that's 16 to Gralla. Not Allmendinger, it was Gralla, but still. At least he hung on to the race car. Keselowski going to go a second lap down now. Blaney's teammate. $18 people watching. Top for this stream here tonight. Then he just brushed the wall off the exit of turn 4. He's alright though. Didn't blow a tire. Luckily, it's going to kill his momentum on the front stretch. And I actually haven't really been looking, but it is the final lap of stage 2 as we speak. So the stage will end this time by... I want to see if the lights are on when we cross the start-finish line. Ryan Blaney will win his second stage of the season. In just the 4th race of the year. 18 stage points tonight. More than any other of the 4 races so far this year. No, the lights are not blinking, by the way, on the pit road entrance. But Ryan Blaney wins stage 2. Awesome. More stage points than any other driver in the field tonight. 8 in stage 1 with a 3rd place finish, and stage 2 getting 10. That go around. And Blaney will stay out of the pits during the stage break. He's going to assume that everybody else will stay out as well. Green flag back in the air. Final stage underway at Vegas. So he has a lap on the field. Got a great launch on that restart as well. Order was kind of messed up on the restart. They had the cars that we just lapped there in the final couple laps of the stage in front of Larson. So Blaney should be a lap ahead of Larson. Well, I mean, ideally Larson should be on the lead lap because he should have gotten the free pass. But usually the free pass is not awarded in this game, which is why Blaney stayed out of the pits. He didn't want to pit and then risk everybody else getting the wave around to get back on the lead lap. So he's got track position with the clean air right now as well. He feels comfortable enough to stay out. Still go quite a ways more on fuel. Well, maybe about 20 laps, but he's going to be pitting with everybody else. So Larson's going to have to find a way to make up a full lap on Ryan Blaney in this final stage. And if we don't get any cautions, which so far tonight we have not had a caution for incident, it's going to be really hard for them to do that. But with staying out during the stage break, that means it's a two-stopper to the end instead of just one in this final stage. But it's going to be like that for everybody, so Blaney's not worried about it. Just needs to run his own race. Run his own in the sense of just only worrying about yourself. But he will just have to make sure he pits with everybody else as well. He's fine on older tires with clean air, so honestly, the car's not handling bad at all right now. I don't think he would have stayed out if he wasn't in the lead, but because he was in the lead, that's why he decided to stay out. Larson about 5 seconds back already. Still trying to get around Brad Keselowski in the 2. He's probably trying to help his teammate Blaney out by holding up Larson as much as he can. Alexa's been roasting. Who's Alexa? There was an NBC affiliate out of New York that on their website or something, they posted an article of Brady retirement. It was like Tom Brady, legendary quarterback who lost 2 Super Bowls to the Giants in his illustrious 22-year career, retires today. It's like, what? So, like, why would they even post that? Like, just rubbing it in his face that he lost 2 Super Bowls. Like, he's the greatest quarterback of all time, and we're gonna act like the city of New York, even though the Giants aren't actually from New York, but we're going to act like they're better as an organization than he ever was. Oh, I thought you were talking about an actual person. I was like, who's Alexa? Alexa Bliss? It's the only Alexa I know. Larson still has not gotten around Keselowski. Got around our first few cars on the restart, but he cannot get around Brad right now. This race wasn't supposed to start the day and end in the night, but the lights have just come on at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, which is a little interesting. The second race starts in the day and ends in the night, but the first one doesn't, because the first one starts like 3 hours before the second race does, so it shouldn't be nighttime. The sun's still peeking off of turn 4, but the lights should not be on. At least we didn't have that glitch when the lights turn on like we've had in this game before. That would be terrible if that ends up happening. By the way, Denny Hamlin just made a pass on Larson for second. I wish there was a way to keep track of laps led for this season, like it is on NASCAR 05, where at the end of the race it shows you how many laps everybody led. Unfortunately, we can't look at that. Otherwise, it would have factored in our laps led from the first 2 races of the year. We didn't lead any laps at Homestead, but obviously we're leading a lot of laps tonight at Vegas. Didn't lead too many in the Daytona 500. Led a decent amount. I don't think we led the most. We dominated the first stage, leading all but 1 lap of the opening stage at the Daytona Road Course, but it was only a 16-lap opening stage. We didn't lead another lap the rest of the race. So we led 15 there, I know for a fact. And here, I have no clue how many we've led. I would not be surprised if we've led nearly 100 laps. We led probably all but the first maybe 15 laps or so of 15, 20 laps at the most of Stage 2. Led about 15, 20 laps in Stage 1. Probably led a little less than 100. Speaking of a little less than 100, we have 95 laps to go this time by. Can't tell if there's race cars ahead of me in the shaded area. I don't think I see anything yet. Oh boy, the light. Oh no, that's the game, that's the game! And no, Blaney's got a tire down! Was wondering if that was going to end up happening. Wow! As if we couldn't have a glitch all night long, and now problems for Ryan Blaney. The lights turned on the track went dark, and Blaney has a right front down while leading at Las Vegas with 95 laps to go, and he's got to make an unscheduled pit stop. He's a lap ahead of the field, 4 tires and fuel for Blaney. That is unbelievable.
The leader's in the finish. The leader's in the finish. The leader's in the finish.
We didn't get the glitch right when the lights turned on like usual. It happened about 5 laps after the fact. I don't think Blaney's got too much damage on the right side of his car. He does lead, but he's got a long ways to go to making his way off of the pit lane. And he still has to pit one more time before the end of the race. Everybody else should have to pit one more time as well here fairly soon, you would think. Maybe another 15 to 20 laps at the most. That is unbelievable. Blaney back to 7th. He was already faster, but now he's got fresher tires. He's going to have to get through this giant pack of cars once he gets up to speed.
Clear, clear, clear.
Blaney going to try to go to work.
All right, keep it high. All right, keep it clear, clear, clear. 3 wide, 2 out, down 1 right, down 1
Look at him blowing past these cars on extremely fresher tires. I don't think the damage is too bad. I didn't want to repair any and waste more time either, though. Car got up to speed pretty quick. It seems like the miles per hour mark is about what it was before, so I don't think the car's too heavily damaged after a terrible game glitch into turn 3 where everything just went black randomly after the lights turned on. And we've had that issue with this game before. The weird thing is, though, this shouldn't be a day-to-night transitional race either. It should be an overall day race at the start. It should finish in the daytime. The night race, the Hollywood Casino, or not Hollywood Casino, what is that? The South Casino 400, or South Point Casino 400. That race is a day-to-night transitional race, not this one. I wonder if it's flip-flopped in this game for some reason. JVC1103, welcome to the stream. Blaney trying to run down the leaders. 91 laps to go. He is on the lead lap. He's going to gun it into turns 1 and 2. McDowell moved up a hair. Stenhouse going to pull up in front of the 12. Blaney boxed in now down the backstretch as they head into turn 3. He'll go to the outside. Makes a pass on Bowman for position. Austin Dillon's back to 22nd somehow. He was in the top 10 earlier. Blaney should clear these guys on the outside into turn 1 and does. Yeah, this is supposed to be a day race. Oh my goodness. I mean, you can see the sun still, but it looks dark. So, I mean, the sun is still out in the sense that it is a day race, and it's supposed to be a day race, but for some reason the rest of the sky is dark, like it's night. And it really doesn't make any sense at all. But I wonder why it was getting more shaded than what probably should have been. That would probably explain that reason. Just blew by Kyle Larson, who's really falling back. He was in second on the restart originally. Oh boy, Blaney a little loose off turn 4. He didn't lift. Drove out of it as he clears Reddick, who nearly squeezed him into the wall. Blaney back to second place. Man on a mission right now to try to get his lead back before everybody else pits. Game thinks it's NASCAR 99 or 2000 on the N64. Well, where the sun's out when it's night, it's supposed to be nighttime. I never played either one of those two games, so I wouldn't know what the sky looks like. 25 people watch right now. Thanks for everybody tuning in. And for everybody that is tuning in, yes, this is true. No stability, no traction control, and on 1.5 miles in this game, Ryan Blaney is about to take the lead from Denny Hamlin on fresher tires. After a game glitch, he had to pit and give up the lead. He had a lap lead on everybody, but now the field is evened out. Hamlin cannot get around those lap cars. Kaz Gralla and Chase Elliott, so Blaney blows by on the fresher tires to take the lead. Still just over 80 laps remain. 12 likes on the stream. Everybody smash that like button. Again, subscribe for more daily NASCAR content on the road to 10,000 subs in the calendar year 2022. Live commentary this Sunday. Probably going to be our most viewed stream of the year, I'd have to imagine, for the Busch Clash this weekend. Starting off with the heat races at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll be doing live commentary. We'll have the statistics, the leaderboard on the channel as well throughout the entirety of the heat races, as well as the main event at 6. Taking care of all of Sunday's action right here on the channel with the live commentary. And then 2 weeks after the fact, I'll be at Daytona for Speed Weeks. Bunch of videos coming out from the channel there. Full season predictions video will be out on the channel sometime tomorrow. Busch Clash predictions will also be up on the channel this weekend before the heat races, and that live stream goes out on Sunday afternoon. Couple drivers in the pit lane right now, so pit stops are starting at least with just over 80 laps to go, which again would mean that everybody would still have to pit to the end of the race one more time. It's gonna vary. Blaney just took the lead. Those drivers that are pitting right now, a little contact getting into turns 3 and 4. Blaney rushing to the outside. But one car checking up off turn 4. Blaney into the wall, and around he goes. Oh no! Trouble on the front stretch in our first caution of the race. Unbelievable. Blaney got into the wall off 4. He tried to check up, and he got loose when he got out of the gas. For BJ McLeod had pulled to the outside in front of him off of turn 4. And again, our first caution of the night. And he doesn't have a lap lead on the field like he did earlier in the race. And again, he's still not able to make it on fuel and tires to the end of the race with pitting right now. And again, this is going from bad to worse in a hurry. A lot of damage to the back bumper. I was going to say the front of the car looked clean, but he backed it into the wall pretty good. That's going to make for some more aero deficiencies on Blaney. I said, how can we blow this race? And we blew the right front tire because the game glitch when the sky went dark and the game went dark for a couple seconds and flashed in and out. Once that happened, it's kind of gone downhill since. Blaney will restart at 5th. Green flag back in the air. Thankfully, the game didn't turn me to the right on the restart. I was scared it was going to there. Blaney has heavy damage to the back of his car, and we'll see how much speed is going to get knocked out of it. He tries to take control in this restart. Oh man, and he nearly turned Kurt Busch.
Clear, clear, clear. Good progress so far. Keep moving forward. Good progress so far. Keep moving forward.
Blaney back to 6 as well. Chastain racing around him. Blaney almost turned by Almirola. What's a worse name, the Guardians or the Commanders?
Got one left. 3 wide. 2 down there. Clear, clear, clear.
Outside lane stacking up quite a bit. Blaney's 3 wide up here.
3 wide. 2 down there.
Doesn't have much room off the exit of turn 4.
Clear. 2 inside here. 3 wide. 2 inside here. 3 wide. 3 wide. You're up top.
Tire down for Ryan Blaney in the wall. Again. All it took was that one hit. That is unbelievable. Didn't hit it that hard, but that's all it takes, and he's going to go a lap down at least. Four tires and fuel again for Blaney. His 3rd stop of the final stage alone. I still don't think he can make it on fuel to the end. Probably going to be a few laps short. I didn't even feel like Blaney hit the wall that hard. This is unbelievable how downhill this race has gone in the final stage for the 12 team. Trying to repair damage. Didn't want to repair any damage, but... yeah, I don't even have the damage repair on. I'm not sure why they were repairing. That's going to cost time in this pit stop as well. Was it going to make any repairs? Everybody's got to make one stop to the end, but that might include the 12 of Blaney as well. He's going to have to pass all those cars anyway, which is where he blew the tire in the first place. He's only going to have a couple lap fresher tires. Back to 31st after winning stage 2. Harvick now leads at Vegas. Everybody has to pit one more time. Ryan Blaney would have to go 64 laps on fuel to the end of the race in order to make it to the end of this race and win. And do they just try to play the fuel strategy game and try to make it? Lost to Dillon. Nearly cut him off.
Stay left. Clear, clear. 3 wide. Kept you up top.
Blaney with a move. Side by side with Corey LaJoie, but not 3 wide, luckily.
All clear.
He's going to try to slide up. And he clears LaJoie off turn 2. Up to 28th. Blaney to the outside. Elliott moving up. Took the air off the 12 car. Michael McDowell. The outside line kind of checking up a bit. Truex checking up in the middle of the tri-oval as well. A lot of cars checking up all of a sudden. Blaney 3 wide to the top in turns 1 and 2. Falls in line now behind Truex. Truex moves to the middle. Blaney goes to the outside, 4 wide in turns 1 and 2. Byron and Truex make contact underneath the 12 of Blaney. Stenhouse in the middle. Blaney barely gets through. Whoa, and here goes Truex down on the bottom, splitting Stenhouse also. Trying to side draft the 12 as Blaney almost pulled down on top of him. Truex down and just body slams Blaney. So if this race plays green to the finish, if the race plays green to the finish, I think the only real chance Blaney has of winning now is hoping, because he is a lap down, that he makes it on fuel and everybody else can't. We know for a fact everybody else can't. Gotta be careful bump drafting Wallace in the tri-oval like that. On this outside lane, nothing's going right for Blaney as he's boxed in. Into turns 3 and 4. On the outside, 3 wide. Kurt Busch on the bottom, Bubba Wallace in the middle. Blaney on the outside. Blaney barely clears Wallace in the tri-oval. Still has Busch to the bottom. Treacherous racing right now. Michael McDowell, sorry, that's Joey Logano checking up the bottom. That's going to help Blaney. Drafting behind Chastain all of a sudden. Blaney's using the outside to perfection right now. Passing a lot of cars. Going down to the apron into the tri-oval. Making some passes there. Dive bombs underneath of the 55 of Matt Mills. He's up to 19th. After being back in 31st. Problem is, again, he's a lap down. Potentially 2 down, but I think he's only 1 down. He's not as fast as the leaders. They won't have to pit until anywhere between 10 to 15 to go. So the hope is to cycle out in front and just try to hold them off to the finish. But what looked like Blaney was going to have this race won, starting the final stage with a 1-lap lead, a game glitch, and then getting loose off 4, getting involved in a self-inflicted accident in traffic, has turned this race upside down in a hurry. And he doesn't have much time to try and get anything back. Blaney scored more stage points than anybody else all day today with 18 total. 3rd in stage 1, 1st in stage 2. And was patient even in the final stage. But again, all it took was that one game glitch. And now you see where he's at in the running order. Now the only good thing, I guess he's pretty equal on speed with the leaders, considering Kyle Busch is behind him, though Busch could be struggling to pass because of dirty air as well. I guess that could be possible. I would not be surprised. Kind of consistently a couple car lengths behind Ryan Blaney. And he's going to go down to the apron into the tri-oval, trying to break whatever draft Kyle Busch was getting. Try to separate apart from him if he can help it. I'm thinking right, we should be right back to 16 cars on the lead lap again then. With Blaney where he's running now, which would explain why Keselowski in 17 Fredo 12. Well, I don't know. We might be 2 down. You would think we're only 1 lap down. I wonder if the game lapped us when we wrecked. Because Alfredo's in 12th. That tells me Blaney's 2 down. The window's open to the end of the race now. If you're Ryan Blaney, do you just short pit? If you're 4 laps short on fuel and you're gonna have to pit anyway, you might as well short pit and hope it stays green. Maybe on 20 to 30 lap fresher tires you can make up 2 laps on speed over the last 60 laps of the race. He's not fast enough to do it on his own right now, I can tell you that much. But then you gotta just hope you don't have another mistake to the end of the race. Problem is, though, when you pit, you're gonna end up repairing more damage. Even though I don't want damage repaired. Patrick Shadley, welcome to the stream. Couple more lap cars Blaney's closing in on off turn 4.
Stay left. Clear, clear.
Really hoping they don't repair damage. They shouldn't. And he did the outside of Justin Haley.
Clear, clear.
He has really pulled away from Kyle Busch on the long run, at least.
Got 1 left. 3 wide. You're up top. All right, keep it high. Clear,
Lucky he
clear,
didn't
clear.
blow a tire that time. Getting into the wall off turn 4, the outside of Josh Bilicki. Well, I'll leave it up to you guys down in the chat. Do you think we try to stretch it on fuel and make it to the end that way and try to hopefully win the race? Or do you think I should short pit and try to make up as much time as I possibly can like I did in stage 1? Because I really don't know. I think either strategy I take is going to be about the same outcome. The only thing with this game is if we run out of fuel and we're, say, like 2 to 3 laps short, we stop on the backstretch, that's it. That's the end of the race, and we're not even going to get, you know, an 18th place finish. We're going to finish probably last. Well, maybe not last, considering a lot of the field will be a few laps down. We'd be at least back on the lead lap, probably leading before we run out of gas. So we we might finish like top 30, but maybe 31st, right back where we were running. Short pit to play it safe. Yeah, I mean it sucks because I feel like unless we stay out and get a caution, maybe we just stay out as long as we can and then, you know, pit with like 5 to go. But if we get a caution, which we have had one now, so maybe we'll see a second.
Clear, clear,
Well, up the middle 3 wide. That was a heck of a move. Blaney had a run. He wasn't lifting. Stay at the 5 to go. Don't get a caution and just take fuel only. Because our tires are fine to the end. We'll make it an extra 5 laps on our tires compared to a full run. So I guess those are our 3 options. On the outside of Keselowski, Bowman. 50 laps to go. The Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Blaney's stuck on the outside. By the way, that pass that Keselowski was for another spot, so Blaney's up to 17th now. Larson back to 7th still. Blaney thought about pitting that time, but he was coming up close on DiBenedetto, and he had to go high to miss him. So he wasn't going to be able to pit that time. So it's a risky strategy call. If a caution comes out, I don't know. I'm making up a lot more time than what I thought I was going to be making up on speed alone. Like, it almost feels like we're getting faster on the long run. I'm scared if I pit and then we end up getting a caution, we're going to finish like 30, outside the top 30. Where if we stay out, we get a caution, we're right back in it. Because we're gaining spots. Once we get around Logano up here, we'll be up to 16th. So you would imagine we can move up more spots, take it fuel only at the end of the race. Maybe a couple more. Because if I short pit, we stay green to the end. How many more spots am I going to gain instead of just a couple? Like, instead of 12th, it would be worth the risk just to finish 7th, 8th, or 9th. Larson at 7th right here. He's a lap ahead. You know what? Oh, man. I mean, this is really tough. Really tough, but Blaney's going to come in this time. Ryan Blaney will pit this time by about 45 laps to go. No adjustments, 4 tires and fuel for the 12 team. Try to push it as hard as he can without speeding. And he is in. 4 tires and fuel, no adjustments for the 12. A great job getting it down on speed and time. Into the box he goes. Don't repair damage, please. I have it turned off. You guys saw I had it turned off. And I tried to turn it on and then turn it back off again. Just to help. Okay, it did not repair damage that time, so that is what Blaney needed, at least in that aspect. Short pit to the end. We'll see how much time he can make up. He was 2 laps down when he pitted, so he's got to make up 2 laps on fresh tires. 45 to go. Everybody else will have to pit one more time to the end. This is the race. And he can't be patient whatsoever either. He's got to make some bonsai moves when he catches traffic. It has to make quick passes. Good on feeling tires at the end. Please stay green. Oh my goodness. Joshua was talking about having anxiety. How this race is unfolding in the final stage. I'm almost starting to feel it myself now. I just hope I made the right move. Yeah, I mean, we're guaranteed to make it to the checker at least this way, barring that we don't get involved in another accident. We've been involved in one. Massive run coming for the 12th. We go down to the apron into the trioval. Joey Logano pit about the same time Blaney did. Because he's back to 28th. He was in 16th. When Blaney was in 17th, right behind him. Well, either way, I guess Blaney's going to be racing Logano. Another car in the pit lane. So Blaney not the only one short pitting. Definitely something I didn't see coming. Side-by-side traffic in front of Joey Logano. Blaney's trying to race his teammate in that 22 as much as he can. Blaney definitely closed in a ton that last lap. Final run to the end of the race. He's going down to the apron into that trioval too, trying to cut as much time back as possible. Big run on the back stretch heading into turn 3 to the outside of Bell and Busch. Kyle Busch in 4th. Interesting and intense, definitely. Big pack of cars holding Logano up into turn 1. Blaney's still well behind these guys, and he's closing in quickly. And off the exit of turn 2, he's going to go to the bottom 3 wide. He's going to lift, pull up to the top. I got checked up behind Logano a bit there. Blaney's still staying wide. Into the trioval. Trying to get to the outside of Suarez. Suarez thought about throwing the block into turn 1. Blaney gets by. So he has passed Logano for position. And he's now pulling away from him. So that's obviously really good. Suarez is in 3rd. What a great run. We haven't talked about him all day. That Trackhouse Racing number 99 car looking for potential first career win if things go his way late. Really is the calm before the storm. Waiting for the rest of the field to pit. The longer they stay out, the better for Blaney. That's going to be less laps that can run him down to the end, and more laps that Blaney will have fresher tires on them. I don't see them pitting till at least 20 to go. At least. Right now we have about 23 to 24 laps left. Or sorry, 33 to 34 laps left. You can just tell how much faster the 12 is. Is this fast enough to make up 2 laps at about the final 45 from when he pitted?
Clear, clear, clear.
He's obviously getting through traffic pretty quickly. Plus, he still got that damage to the back of his race car, too. Not so much on the right side, but a lot of damage to the back bumper. And is that just enough to slow the car down even more? It's going to put a little bit more drag on that back bumper down the straightaways in particular. Not going to mess him up in the corners as much. That's why you're still seeing the mid-corner speed. Still halfway decent. Even on equal tires like you... So he was able to kind of pull away from Busch on the long run, at least, still. Blaney to the outside of McLeod. Davison. Checked up a bit. Gonna pull 3 wide to the middle. I don't know how this is gonna work. Into the corner. Mills squeezing Blaney just a bit. Blaney bump draft in the back of Joey Gase off the exit of turn 4. I think he didn't turn him. Denny Hamlin is the leader. Harvick and Hamlin up here. Harvick stuck behind Reddick. Reddick in 6th. So yes, only 5 cars are on the lead lap. Honestly, with this strategy, even if he doesn't get to the lead, I think he will get up to 6th. As long as it stays green to the end. At least get up to 6th. Should be a top 10. Can he make up another lap, though, on the 11? It's going to be tough. Not that much traffic ahead of Denny Hamlin. Immediately, at least. He's definitely going to have a harder time getting through it than Blaney, who's just blowing by everybody. We're going to alternate through the different camera angles one more time in today's race when we get back to the start-finish line this time by. So I'm going to potentially wait one more lap. Just want to get through this next little bit of lap traffic first. Oh no! Turned himself hard into the wall off of Quinn Houff. He made the move too early. I did that on purpose. I'm taking my frustrations out now.
Yellow, yellow, yellow.
That is unbelievable. And we lost even more time because they short pitted. Because now Blaney was probably about like two laps down when he spun. It went another lap down. Everybody else is pitting now anyway, so the field is making their final stop of the race. Blaney just trying to cause a caution so he can pit with everybody else. This car is extremely totaled now. Heavy damage to the front end. Frustration settling in for the 12 of Blaney. What looked like he had the win. Field checking up on the restart. Blaney in 29th. Maybe he can gain a couple more positions. See 28th, 27th in front of him, but that's going to be about it. And that's even if he has the speed to get to those guys. Like he didn't wreck too much out of it. Not sure exactly how many laps down he is. He's probably at least 3 down. 3 or 4 down, I would have to imagine. Less than 20 to go. Ty Dillon in 39th just blew right around Blaney on the outside. Blaney definitely doesn't have the speed he once did. And again, after winning stage 2, third at stage 1, this is not the finish that the 12 of Blaney wanted. Wow, he didn't... Oh! Wow, what a save by Matt Mills. How did he not get turned into the outside wall? How did Blaney not spin either? That chain reaction of events. Two cautions, both in the final stage. For incident. What I was going to say, though, it all goes back to that game glitch when we were leading and the screen flickered to black, back to normal, and then back to black again, and we ended up in the wall blowing a right front tire, giving up a 1-lap lead on the field, and actually losing the lead there briefly before getting it back for a few laps before getting involved in a self-inflicted accident off of turn 4 with about 80 laps to go. And then after that accident, we potentially went a lap down. And even if we didn't, we ended up blowing a tire, scraping the wall very lightly off of turn 4 just a few laps after the restart. It had to make an unscheduled green flag stop, and that's what really took Blaney out of the race. And was just trying to gain as much spots as he could back by short pitting. And instead, cut down just a hair, and I mean just a hair too early on Quinn Houff before making the pass on Timmy Hill, who was in front of him. And a mistimed judgment off turn 2 for Blaney turned him into the inside wall, blowing the left front tire, then an eventual caution on the front stretch. It won't be a DNF in this race, unlike the last 2 races for Blaney, but it is going to be a rough finish. I mean, the only silver lining in this is he did get a playoff point for winning stage 2, kind of like the Daytona Road Course situation. He scored a decent amount of stage points, got a stage win, but just could not seal the deal at the end. Not only not seal the deal, but not even get a good finish out of it either. He's not going to finish last today. He won't DNF. We have less than 15 to go. May be able to gain a couple more positions on Davison and Newman at the back of the pack. I know Keselowski was also for position somebody else. You missed a lot, Boss Brody. I was trying to explain as best as I could there. I was talking about there not being a game glitch the entire first 2 stages. And once we had that first game glitch, it went downhill. And it was out of our control. I mean, we were just running. We were leading smoothly. Clean air, no traffic around us. We blew a right front tire because the game screen went to black. And then when it came back on, I was in the wall. I mean, there was nothing you could do. I was turned. I was turned to the left. I was out of the gas. It didn't matter. It's like when the game went black, it just stopped steering. It went straight. Well, Blaney's really got nothing to lose now, so he's going to be aggressive for every position he can get at the end. 3 wide into turn 3, some contact. Big stack up in that big pack off of turn 4 as well. Blaney down to the apron, into the tri-oval. Just past Davis in 4th position. Matt Mills in the 55, squeezing. I don't know how they didn't make contact. Mills did get into Newman, but I don't think Blaney even touched the 55 car. He had his left sides down on the apron. Newman again is for position, but so is Davison on the outside. Bumper tag to the back of Newman. 3 wide into the tri-oval. Newman trying to side draft the 12 of Blaney. Blaney trying to break the side draft down to the apron. 3 wide into turn 1. Newman up the middle. What a move by Ryan Newman, the Rocket Man. Blaney going to try to clear Cody Ware off turn 2. He's barely clear. One coming on the bottom that he's going to throw a block on Custer. Try to get back to the 6 of Newman. I don't know if it's going to be possible. Less than 10 laps to go. He's either 3 or 4 down, so it's tough to tell exactly when the final lap is going to hit until the leaders actually do get the white flag. Blaney's car's badly damaged. One of the fastest cars on the field, and now he's getting blown by the 15th place driver, Cole Custer. And even the 27th place driver, Ryan Newman, extremely pulled away from him. I'll have a chance to get him back in lap traffic, and that would be about it. Oh, wow! Turn into the wall. Blaney again is wrecked for the 3rd time. Our 3rd caution of the race. Unbelievable. He definitely moved up in front of the 15, but with no rear view mirror, he had no clue the 15 was there. No rear view mirror and the spotter not even being accurate. I mean, maybe the spotter didn't call us clear and said car high. I was in the heat of the moment. I had no clue. I don't pay attention to the spotter in this game because they're wrong more than half the time. So I don't like to listen to false information if I can help it. What a wreck fest this has turned in. I mean, it's only 3 cautions total still, but for ourselves, we've been involved in all 3. Green flag back in the air. Game tried to turn us to the right on the restart. We'll push to the back of Cody Ware. I'm assuming we're in overtime and there's only 2 laps to go on the restart. So a little green-white checker overtime finish with 2 to go. Blaney did not take off well on the restart. Now he's got even more damage than what he had before. White flag in the air, 1 lap to go. Can Denny Hamlin hold on to become the 4th different winner in the first 4 races of the season? Blaney side by side Timmy Hill. He's not even able to break away. Still going to be a 29th place finish. Stinks because he even made it up to 28th before he wrecked that last time. They're checking up off turn 4, but no positions right in front of him. As they come to the line, the checkered flag is waving. And Blaney will finish 29th. Three laps down. Which is pretty accurate. I mean, I don't think there was any scoring errors with the game tonight. Wow, look at that finish, though. Photo finish at the line. The 3rd closest finish in Cup Series history. Between Kevin Harvick and Denny Hamlin. Hamlin was not able to hold on the final lap, and Kevin Harvick will go back-to-back, winning his 2nd race of the year. And winning the first 2 mile-and-a-half races. How about that? 4 1/1000ths of a second. I'm going to take a picture of the finishing results here. My legs are extremely sore. Alright. Yeah, we actually won. I don't know if how long you were in here for, Davion, but we actually finished third in stage 1 and won stage 2. But one game glitch pretty much took us out of it. That final stage with just over 80 laps to go. Just as simple as the sky went black. And remember that not only the game should do that in general, but this race should have been a day race anyway. The lights shouldn't have even had to turn on. The sky shouldn't even be dark. So not only the fact that, you know, the lights shouldn't just turn on, or the game shouldn't just go black like that when the lights turn on. It's not the first time we've had that issue, and it probably, unfortunately, won't be the last, and it's not really anything I can do about it. But in this race in particular, it's not even supposed to end in nighttime anyway. The race literally starts at, like, noon. Vegas time. Like, noon, 1 o'clock Vegas time. And I can tell you right now, that race did not take over 5 hours. I think it took, like, just over 2.5. So, whatever. It's in the past now. We, unfortunately, finished 29th. But Kevin Harvick goes on to win his second win of the season. Catching up there on Kyle Larson for the regular season championship. Like, share, and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. You got the good copy of it. I did not get a good copy of this game. I've been kind of talking all night. I've never won a mile and a half with a full race on this game. And that was by far the closest we came to it. We won a stage. We finished third in stage 1. We led the most laps. We had to have led over 100 laps. And we were putting ourselves in a good position. It was a two-stopper to the end from where we were at, but everybody else was also on two-stopper. It was even strategy. We had the fastest car. And, man, that's just unfortunate. Super unfortunate. But, yeah. That's all I got to say about that. I'll be back and better than ever tomorrow, though, along with you guys. 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow night on the channel. NASCAR Chase for the Cup 2005. It'll be our second race of the custom schedule season there, season-long championship. I can guarantee that we probably won't have any game glitches. And I can definitely guarantee that the race will start in the day, end in the day. And I can definitely guarantee that the screen will not go black in the middle of the race. So, anyway, with that being let out right there, it'll be at the Dodge Raceway Stadium short track leading up to the Busch Clash this weekend, so that's why it's the second race of the season there, which will then lead up to our Daytona 500 on the channel next week on NASCAR Chase for the Cup 2005 on that very custom schedule season with my old favorite driver, Greg Biffle. Thank you, everybody, here tonight. I will see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully, if you're being snowed in or have to go somewhere in the major snowstorm that hit the Midwest this weekend is still hitting my house currently as we speak. Be safe on your way to work, school, whatever it is tomorrow that you have to go. And I will see you guys again tomorrow. Take care, everybody.